Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena on a Wednesday, the 18th of June. I'm CJ Baumgartner. That's Corey Tackman. Corey, we got a lot of breaking news to get to here on the program. Let's just go right off the top and talk about the local news that happened since our last show. And that is the head coach, longtime head coach of Walker-Hackensack-Akeley girls basketball, Jim Lien, passed away in a years-long battle with lung cancer. It was announced late on Monday evening, I believe, kind of late Monday evening, early Tuesday morning, I believe was when that was announced and put out into the world. But that's a tough loss for a community that has known no other girls basketball coach for 50 years. And obviously I know his role changed a little bit towards the end and things like that. But for all intents and purposes, Corey, it's a big loss for Walker-Hackensack-Akeley.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, the Walker-Hackensack-Akeley girls basketball program has never had another head coach other than, like you mentioned, some of the transition years over the last couple of years. I don't know Coach Lien's exact timeline, but I believe he was the boys basketball coach in Akeley. Mm-hmm. And then the combination happened and he was the girls basketball coach from that point forward. Been at it
at Nevis.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. And I didn't call a ton of Walker-Hackensack-Akeley girls basketball games, but I would see him, once a year for the last 12 years. I mean, like you said, he's just like a stalwart in the program for a really long time. And it's a big loss for that program. So thinking about Walker-Hackensack-Akeley and the Wolves and that girls basketball program and how they move forward. But of course there's some highlights there for Coach Lien and the Wolves in those last few years.
Yeah, exactly. They were able to get to the first ever state tournament as Walker-Hackensack-Akeley in girls basketball in the 2024 state girls basketball tournament. Then they were able to double it up and win Section 5 again, back-to-back section champions for girls basketball. They got to go there and they again get to kind of put that program in its spot. And it's something that was dang near 50 years in the making. But if you look at Coach Lien, he also coached baseball and volleyball. And in volleyball, he took Akeley to their first trip to the state tournament way back in the day as well. So this is a guy that's been coaching forever. He's worn many hats for many different kind of schools and areas, and now kind of all coming together, coaching both girls and boys basketball at Akeley and Nevis, and then Walker-Hackensack-Akeley, 50 years coaching. Yeah, 800 plus wins combined with both girls and boys basketball, coaching in over 1,000 games. I mean, just all of those numbers just blow my mind the more I think about them, Corey.
They're crazy. They're just crazy numbers. So may he rest in peace.
And, the other cool thing is at the very end, he was able to get in those section titles and state tournament berths, but also they named the court after him just a few months ago, right at the end of the season. And it's the Coach Jim Lien court there in Walker at the Walker-Hackensack-Akeley school. And obviously those moments would have been cool no matter what, but it's really cool when somebody gets to at least appreciate that at the end of their life and gets to see kind of that hard work get memorialized like that,
Yeah, I agree completely. It's very cool.
It's like that John Madden documentary. Remember that it came out like less than a year before he died. And it's just a really cool way to like have this thing be shown up of like, hey, you made a really big impact in this part of the world, this part of whatever. And like, you get to see that kind of at the end of your life. It's just a really cool thing. So congratulations to his career overall. And like you said, just thinking of that girls basketball program and his family, and may he rest in peace. So with that, Corey, let's move things on. We got a couple things in the show to talk about, including the Twins' L streak going to 5 in a row. We also have more updated news on the Minnesota Timberwolves and Kevin Durant and the will they, won't they tension, and NBA nickname game, NBA Finals edition coming up as well. But before we do that, we got to talk about the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Corey?
Pizza Ranch, FunZone Arcade in Wadena wants you to tell them about your recent visit. All you need to do is head to the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade Facebook page, click the link, and enter for a chance to win a $100 Pizza Ranch gift card. Take the survey, complete the survey, and you're automatically entered in to win that weekly drawing for one of two $100 Pizza Ranch gift cards. So double the opportunity just by filling out the survey. Obviously, they just, they thank you for visiting. They thank you for taking the extra time to filling out the survey, letting them know how they do. And if you've been in there, it's just, you can't go anywhere. The buffet is always just spotless because the second you walk through, there's someone right there behind you cleaning up the mess that you made. And yes, I apologize on behalf of myself and no one else in my family. Like every time I go through the buffet, I have to kick a piece of lettuce under the table, or you know what I mean? Like, gosh dang it, I dropped another piece of food. So they're following me behind dang near with a Hoover vacuum as they get that place cleaned up, and they're picking up plates off the table instantly, always. You just do a wonderful job. So fill out that survey and checking out the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade Facebook page. And the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena brings us the morning sports desk each and every single day.
All right, Corey. Minnesota Twins lose 5 in a row. I think just to put it up into just to encapsulate it in one single thought.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Defense, you saw a couple plays, but overall Twins hitting couldn't quite keep up with the Reds yesterday. David Festa got kicked around for 4 runs. Brock Stewart came in and coughed up the lead on a couple hits as well, but one of the reasons that 4-run, I believe his 5th inning, kept so long was because Ryan Jeffers dropped a 3rd strike and couldn't get the guy out at first, extended the inning, then a double, and that this team is just in a funk. They are just not playing well. The pitching just isn't as sharp. The hitting hasn't been as timely, and the defense, well, again, all of these things are good in spurts, nothing consistent enough just to be able to get them wins. And it's not like the Astros are a good team. The Rangers weren't a great team. And the Reds aren't a juggernaut either. And the fact that the Twins haven't won a series since they beat the A's 3 out of 4 times is a little bit concerning.
I mean, I can't really contribute a ton to this conversation, CJ, because I haven't been able to watch them in a really long time. I use this reference a lot when I think about visiting in one of my first years here, visiting Monaga and the head coach at the time, Charlie Dorman, and telling me, well, Corey, we can't hit, we can't catch, we can't throw. And it just seems to be that is the problem with the Twins, right? In football, you talk about 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. In baseball, the 3 phases of the game are catching, throwing, and hitting. And if you are only doing, you have to do at least 2 of the 3 to give yourselves even a chance. And if you're only doing 1 of 3, or what seems to be like 0 of 3 in the Twins instance right now, you have no chance. You're not going to win any of those games. Right. So, do better or something.
That's pretty much it. Pretty much it.
Do better. Just hashtag be better.
Just score more runs than the other team for once in the last week. I am begging you.
And stop them from scoring.
Yes.
Right now, it's the scores aren't outrageous, but it was less than a week ago where they gave up 16 and then something, and then 16 and 10 in 3 out of 4 games.
Yep.
That's not going to do it either, man.
I simply would just put the players in there that would score runs and prevent the other team from scoring runs. I don't understand what the problem is.
Good point. It's a decent point.
They should just hire us.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm available.
Then Corey will be able to watch the games.
And then I finally be able to see a game.
Be like the Billy Bean moment. It'd be like, I don't watch the games. And then
my first clubhouse doors closed meeting is just going to be, boy, you guys suck.
Have you guys tried hitting the ball where they aren't?
I've had people tell me that you guys really weren't good at anything, but my God, were they right?
Shout out to all the haters who doubted me. They were right. Shout out to the haters.
Yes. Raise your hand if you think this is good enough. Look around the room. You'll notice not a hand is up.
Somebody just puts their hand up like, I don't know. I feel like I'm out. Done.
Get out of here.
Go. Pack your bags. Hit the green line. You're going to St. Paul.
By the way,
shut up.
The St. Paul Saints are on an awful streak right now, too.
Yeah, they also played really bad yesterday.
So
Jose Miranda is like hitting below 200 in AAA. He missed according to Lavelli Neal, the Star Tribune, like gave up on a grounder down the third base line that like squirted into the outfield. Like,
at least there's hope on the horizon. Oh, wait. No, there's not. They stink too.
There's not. At least there's hope of an ownership change. That's still in flux because the Twins got themselves into debt and are shocked that another team won't pay a higher number to get them out of debt.
If you are expecting the Minnesota Twins to do something by the trade deadline, you are delusional and need
2 years
and need to be medicated. They are going to do zero to better this team.
They will get a league average at best reliever that cost them like a 24-year-old high A prospect.
Yep.
That'll be who by like last year they'll cut 3 weeks later.
Yep.
Like
there's nothing, whoever is on the roster, who's ever on the varsity roster or the major league roster, that's who Twins fans you get until the season is over, whenever it's over. If you're not prepared for that, CJ, I know you are. This is just a call. This is a public service. If you're not prepared for that, do it now, because that's what it's going to be.
Get ready for in 3 weeks. They're going to go, the biggest acquisition we got was getting Luke Keyshaw back in the lineup, and that's more valuable than any trade we could have made.
They're closer to trading guys than getting set guys.
I mean, the way that this is playing.
I'm not saying they're going to do that. The
direction they are trending in.
The possibility of the reason this team looks different is because they traded Carlos Correa. That is a closer probability than the Twins trading to get someone to get them over the hump.
Here's a fun Twin stat. You ready for this one? They are 78-84 in their last 162 games dating back to last season.
Don't like that.
And they're pretty much the same team as the year before because they elected to do nothing.
Yep.
Great.
Go team, go team, go.
The highlight of the night was Buxton robbing a home run and then hitting a home run. The other highlight was Harrison Bader hitting a home run to that short porch and right, but only because the outfielder tried to grab it at the fence and it bounced off his glove and went over. So,
is there a better name for a ballpark in major leagues?
Great American Ballpark.
Perfect.
Never change it.
I'm sure Great American is like a
freight
a war machine or something. You know what I mean? they make all the shell casings for RPG.
It's Lockheed Martin of Ohio.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm sure that's what it is. But as far as like baseball and Americana and Cincinnati, who's like, one of the long-standing franchises, it's pretty cool. Great American Ballpark's a great name.
Great American Ballpark is just it's perfect.
Yep.
It is it's great. I'm trying to see here. Great American Insurance.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the obvious other guess I get, isn't it?
Yeah. I always just thought as a kid for the longest time that that's just what they wanted to name it. It's the Great American Ballpark.
It's super cool. And I'm sure that had something to go into the organization picking them. It's a great name.
And they're willing to fork over the money.
Not a lot of great ballpark names anymore.
Miller Park was perfect for that stadium.
Miller Park was perfect. Mm-hmm.
Now it's American Family Field.
But even like Wrigley, that just
Wrigley's gum. It's just going to be like that forever.
Right. But that's long standing. Fenway, like these things are starting to go away.
Mm-hmm. Kind of even like the Metrodome. It was just the building had its own nickname.
Yeah, it was cool.
The Dome. The Homer Dome. Although nobody ever called it the Homer Dome in the early 2000s because outside of Morneau, the Twins just slapped it into the turf. But
they mostly didn't call it the Homer Dome for most of the time they were there.
Uh-huh. It's like when somebody calls the Timberwolves the T-Wolves, you're like, nobody here really calls it that.
Is that true though?
And not a lot of people. It's T-Wolves is kind of like everybody nationally calls them T-Wolves, but everybody just says Wolves, at least in my experience talking about.
I don't know. I think it's
when people call Minnesota mini.
That's definitely true.
It's why I try and never say San Fran, because nobody in San Francisco calls it that.
It can't, right?
Like nobody says, "Oh yeah, I live in San Fran." No, they go, they'll say I live in Frisco or something like that, or like something. They're going to you are not going to call your mini, just doesn't sound good.
No, it's not. I don't know. I don't know anybody who does it, but
oh yeah, I live in mini.
But that's also not the, like KG said it. And KG and I don't come from the same, we're not cut from the same cloth. You know what I mean?
You're not 7 feet tall and can dunk.
There's some other cultural differences too. You know what I mean? So I don't know what I don't know what the street cred version of what people call Minnesota is.
That's also fair. All right, let's talk about something positive, maybe, depending on who you are, I guess. Okay. Kevin Durant to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Corey, based on reporting of John Krasinski and a few other reporters for The Athletic, the kind of this detailed piece on Monday night talking about Kevin Durant and the Minnesota Timberwolves and just kind of where things stood in that whole trade ordeal. I know we talked about, hey, the Wolves are in it, but Kevin Durant doesn't have them as a possible thing and whatever. And it felt like, remember, it was like Monday afternoon, Kevin Durant didn't outright say it, but he had like his surrogates tell people in the media, Kevin Durant has no interest in playing in Minnesota, which first of all, hey, dang, you didn't have to put it like that. Jeez, man. But second of all was it felt like the reason, it just kind of like reading the room. It kind of felt like Monday afternoon when that came out. And of course it came out after we recorded a show, but it felt like after it came out, it was a sense of like, there was a deal that was probably close, and Kevin Durant wanted to make sure he just kind of put his thumb on the scale a little bit of like, ooh, like the Wolves and the Suns are getting pretty close. I need to like put this out there that I'm not going to Minnesota.
I mean, I have a few thoughts on this.
Go for it.
First of all, and we should talk about the specifics of what the Timberwolves have
reportedly
offered, right? I guess is the buzzword there, buzz term. But the first thing is, we talked about some of the money things, right? And state income taxes, and the 4 spots that were initially thrown out were 2 Texas teams, 1 Florida team, and a Minnesota team. Well, Minnesota has state income tax, and those other 2 do not. So that was the first part of this conversation. The other part of this conversation leans more heavily on who Kevin Durant is as a person. And you only need to point to Golden State, which now is much farther away than it maybe feels like. But like, remember he won a Finals MVP. He was the best player on that team, on an awesome team. And do you remember that he left that team not because the basketball wasn't good, or because he didn't get a Finals MVP, or because he whatever the reason. He left because no matter what happened in that town, Golden State was Steph's team. And then he just couldn't, it was hard for him to reconcile that he was the best player on a team that won a championship, and it wasn't his team.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to Minnesota will mean the exact same thing as it did in Golden State. Minnesota Timberwolves fans, like, we'll welcome you in with open arms. I think it'd be fun to root for Kevin Durant. All I care about is the well-being of my firstborn son, Anthony Edwards. Like, that's it. That's it. I just need Anthony Edwards to be in a spot where he's in a Timberwolves jersey for as long as humanly possible. And I will not allow Kevin Durant, as a Timberwolves fan, to come in and napalm the organization and ruin it. Do you hear how people talk about Devin Booker now? Like, I don't know, is Devin Booker the guy?
Devin Booker was in some serious conversations like 4 years ago.
Yes, and I don't need that to happen to Anthony Edwards. I don't think that's fair. I think the conversations, as an aside, are unfair about Devin Booker, but I don't need that. I just don't need that to happen to Anthony Edwards, and I don't need KD to come in and napalm that organization and take Ant down with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's a big part of it. And I think he understands that no matter what he's doing, he's coming in as a mercenary, and all the Timberwolves fans want to win, but if they're not going to win and Anthony Edwards is lost in the process too, we're going to hate you forever.
Right. And like you said, there's a lot of intervening factors here. There's a lot of things that we got to take a look at.
First of all, title, we're not going to love you more than Anthony Edwards.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
Well, and the comparable situation, right, is the Toronto Raptors in 2018 trading for Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard said he didn't want to go to Toronto. The Raptors were like, we're going to trade for you anyways, and we're going to figure it out. They won a title, and Kawhi was like, all right, got what I wanted. Like, I'm out. You guys got what you wanted. I got what I wanted. I'm going to go sign with the Clippers now. Even though that city embraced Kawhi Leonard so much, and they went on just that miracle run. And that'll be the thing. Like, if the Wolves trade for Kevin Durant, do they even want to extend him? Or is it like, hey, KD, we're going to trade for you 1 year. Let's ride this thing out. Let's give it our all. And then the Wolves don't have to be tied up long-term to paying a 38-year-old Kevin Durant in 2 years. That's also in the factor. Does Kevin Durant think the Wolves aren't going to extend him? Because
yes, but I have a follow-up to that too. And because this is a really important part of the conversation. And I don't know what the right answer is. I think actually you can go a couple different ways, but the guys being offered for KD are Gobert,
yep,
DDV, and it's either Shannon or Dillingham.
Or is what the phrasing was.
Sure. And a pick.
The 17th overall pick.
Okay, so that's the offer out there. Now, I want to be perfectly fair about this. All of the players involved there, right? From KD to Gobert to DDV to Dillingham to Shannon to the pick. Let's look 2 years down the line. It's off-season 2027. Are any of those guys on the Timberwolves anyway? Literally any of them. Like, Kevin Durant is going to retire in 2 years. He's going to die, he's going to get injured, or he's going to napalm the organization. You are getting max 2 years out of Kevin Durant, right?
Right.
But Rudy Gobert, so don't do the trade. Is Rudy Gobert a Timberwolf in 2 years?
Probably not.
Is DDV?
Nope.
Maybe Dillingham or
Shannon Jr., yeah. Like, either one of those would be.
We don't know what their impact is going to be because they didn't really impact the team much. There's not a huge sample size. And then the 17th pick, who knows? That player ends up being kind of weird all the time anyway. So, like, when you look at all of those, I don't know which way this leads you, CJ, as far as like, do you just do the trade anyway? Because who cares? Because none of those guys are going to be Timberwolves at the end of 2 years anyway. Or do you not do the trade because in 2 years, none of these guys are going to be Timberwolves anyway? I don't know the exact way to think about this. All I know is if I'm in the Timberwolves organization, all I really care about is making sure that Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels are taken care of. And probably right now, Chris Finch is number 3 on that list, but coaches we know are exceedingly expendable.
Right. I mean, there's a lot. It's a lot to think about. And of course, yeah, like you said, these are the players that are potentially reportedly have been offered, and it makes sense for all these names. Whatever, is it too much? Is it too little? And this is the big thing in all of this is the Wolves have said, we are not going to do this unless Kevin Durant wants to come here. They're not willing to, like, the Wolves know that this could be a time bomb if you get Kevin Durant. And they're like, we are not going to trade for a ticked off Kevin Durant we don't want Anthony Edwards to be with a disinterested Kevin Durant for an entire season. That is what they are trying to avoid. And this is kind of the thing. This is, if you're the Wolves, do you think Kevin Durant changes his mind? Because that's kind of what happened with Jimmy Butler in Golden State. He said he didn't want to go to Golden State. Ironically, he wanted to go to Phoenix. But eventually, like, the Heat were like, look, we're not trading you to Phoenix. So it's either you go to Golden State or you don't go anywhere. And eventually he came around to the idea and went to Golden State. So this is just the Suns. They are not doing this. They're not like working with Kevin Durant. They are doing what is in the best interest of the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns want to get players that are ready to win now. Getting Gobert, getting Dante, getting, a young piece. Like, those are pieces that are going to help you win in the immediate future. Or in the immediate kind of short-term play. So yeah, if you're Phoenix, you're probably hoping that the Wolves take your off. Like, you're hoping that the Wolves are your trade partner. San Antonio, Houston, Miami, they don't have the capital unless Kevin Durant wants to go to the Knicks, but the Knicks aren't interested in trading for him. So this is just kind of, everybody's just kind of stalled out, and we're just kind of waiting to see who blinks first. You know what I mean?
All right, so let me throw some things at you. I'm going to rule out one possible option, okay? I'm going to rule out, if it's Dillingham and TSJ, I'm out. I don't like it. It can be either one. And I think it's a fair offer. I think Rudy, Dante, let's just say Dillingham, because he's first on the list here, and the 17th pick. Do you do that? Let's do this first. Let's do this trade. Rudy, Dante, Dillingham, 17th pick for KD. Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, based off one season of Dillingham, which is, again, injury and whatever. Like, I think I'd do that trade if you keep Terrence Shannon Jr.
Okay, I don't. And the reason is because I have some huge issues with Rudy Gobert, but I think the Rudy Gobert player and the type, and you need a big. I don't think Naz Reid can be your center and compete in the West. It's just not. I don't think it's a feasible option, even with Kevin Durant on your team. So right. let me just throw one little mix up into this. Remove Rudy Gobert and add Julius Randle.
Right.
Do you do the trade if it's Randle instead?
I mean, if Phoenix will take Randle, yeah. I mean, I think for, like you said, I would prioritize Randle, or I would prioritize trading Randle over Gobert, in the sense of Gobert just like means much more to what the Wolves kind of are built on right now in the defensive presence.
Are you answering this on your behalf or the Timberwolves' behalf? Because I want to know. I want on your behalf what you would do.
On my behalf, yes, because of the things that Gobert can do. And just the fit, because this is also the thing too. This is the trade in a vacuum. It leaves the Wolves with some holes, and it's just too many kind of things to stack on to say, well, the Wolves are going to do this, but then they're also going to use Randle to trade for somebody else. And they also have to, like, just in a vacuum, it does leave them with a big hole kind of in that rim protector spot, which would be
a massive, like,
so if I could swap out Gobert for Randle in this, I would do that preferably
in a heartbeat, right? Unlike Oklahoma City figured out they couldn't win in the West without a big, right? And they're going to win. They're going to win a championship this year, probably. Like,
Reese Halliburton got hurt. It's a Mickey Mouse ring now. I've decided.
Rudy is problematic. There's some things that are wrong with, fine, but also we're comparing him to his salary and not to who he is and the type of player he is. And the type of player he is important in the West in particular. Losing that turns the Timberwolves into the Lakers.
Kind of, yeah.
You know what I'm like?
You have a lot of star power, but you have such a glaring hole that you can't overcome it.
We all think at this very instant, the Timberwolves need a point guard, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you make this trade, you still need a point guard and you need a center.
And you've also lost not all of your capital, but a good amount of your capital.
And depth. So, yes. I mean, I do think, actually, generally speaking, it's fair as long as it's an or Rob Dillingham or Terrence Shannon Jr.
It's both of them,
and not and. I don't like that. I think this offer is actually fair, and if they did it, I could buy in. That being said, there are just some things that I think are important in the West that I don't know. KD's so damn good. He's awesome. I just how do you deny? It's just weird to be like, nah, we don't need Kevin Durant. What a weird, wild concept that is.
Right. But also, it's a 35-year-old Kevin Durant.
How about this other hypothetical? On paper, theoretically, whatever. What's the difference between Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker, actually? Is there one? They're the same guy, right? They're the same. Like, maybe Anthony Edwards is on an upward trajectory.
Yeah, I was going to say the swagger in the league narrative is in a much better shape, but yeah.
But
in terms of on-court production and things like that, you're getting a lot of the same.
They're the same player right now, right? Didn't that flame out famously?
Yeah.
Like, why is it going to work? Why is KD and Devin Booker 2.0 going to make a difference? Like, how's that going to be better?
You can make the case that there's no Bradley Beal coming in to further erode what's already going bad. But yeah, I mean, that's also true.
Julius Randle's team.
Right. It's the meme of, it's the Arrested Development meme, right? Like, oh, people use this as a last resort, even though it never works. And then they go, but maybe it'll work for us.
I just don't like how is Julius Randle going to be happy with that situation?
Right. The answer is Julius Randle probably gets traded for, like, they probably, like, it feels like they're not just going to trade for Kevin Durant and go, done, there's our offseason. Like, it feels like it's all right, we got KD, now we got to like retool, like we've got, like, it'd be part one of however many, probably two kind of trades that the Wolves are going to do. And it, like, you know what I mean? It feels like that would just be step one of it'd be the biggest step if they were able to do that. But it feels like they wouldn't just do that and be like, all right, this is our team. Like, there is more dominoes to fall.
Tyus Jones or something, like, well, I mean, I just don't.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, there's a lot of things there's a lot of moving parts into this. Gut level, here's the thing. Monday I said gut level, I don't think Kevin Durant is a Minnesota Timberwolf, and I still don't think he will be. That needle, though, has been more into the direction of like, but if the Wolves are the best offer and Phoenix really wants him to take that offer, does Phoenix just say, look, KD, this is like, it's either this or like, I don't know what happens. Kevin Durant is a little bit more used. Kevin Durant has a little bit more pull, I think, than Jimmy Butler does to like facilitate his own exit. Like, he's more willing, which is weird to say, he's more willing to kind of be the snake here a little bit, but still.
He's never not gotten his way.
Exactly.
His way every single time. I think it's Houston, because he doesn't want to be, like, everyone loves Wemby, right? That might be his best chance to win. Maybe, I don't know. But like, Houston's an immediate contender if he goes there. He's an immediate contender.
They were a 2 seed last year, so you pair a veteran into that mix.
They don't have a star. They have guys who they want to be stars, maybe, but like, they don't have an Anthony Edwards, like, bona fide. This guy's or Wemby. They, like, Kevin Durant could immediately lock into that and put kind of everybody else in their place theoretically on a roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's Houston.
And I know on Monday on the show, I forgot, we mentioned he played college in Texas, but he's from the Washington, D.C. area.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Because they mentioned in the article, like, Tim Conley's from DC, or like has connections to, like, he's from DC, has a lot of connections in that area. So does Kevin Durant. Because remember when Kevin Durant was going to be a free agent, like 17, everyone's like, is Washington on the list? He's from there. And they were the Wizards. And no. But yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces. Corey, from Monday, we both said Kevin Durant is not going to be a Timberwolf. You're saying now Houston. I'm still saying no. I don't quite know where he ends up, but Houston would kind of be the one I'd lean more towards. We'll see. That being said, I can't wait to be ready to be done with this show. And then poof, some, I'm not saying the trade happens, but just some new development that completely changes everything we're talking about.
All right. Well, then let's end it and find out.
We got to do the nickname game quick.
Yep.
All right. Corey, the nickname game, NBA Finals Edition. I have all of these NBA players out here. This is Finals Edition. This is Pacers and Thunder. These are players who have played for both the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
The list isn't very long. I did not include the Seattle Supersonics as part. So from 2009 on, just to make it easier.
Okay. Players who played for both.
Yes.
I'm going to get one. I know one of them already. I just don't know when he's going to pop up.
So again, how we play the nickname game is Basketball Reference has the nicknames of certain NBA players.
Yeah.
How accurate they are, we don't know. But they have the nicknames up on their page, and we say the nicknames and see if Corey can guess the player. Okay. First one up, I'm going to give you the layup right away. Batman.
I mean, I don't know, but if you're going to tell me it's the layup, it's the only guy I know off the top of my head. It's Paul George.
Paul George is correct. Paul George is that answer. I just said Batman because it's the, it's like the funniest one because you see him for PG-13. A young Trace has also been what it's his nickname, Playoff P for some reason.
Awesome.
He had the playoff P mantra, and that got completely blown up when Charles Barkley was like, "They don't call me Championship Chuck," and then it's like, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna." We probably shouldn't call that guy that anymore. His new nickname has been Podcast P because he's been doing more podcasts than playing on the court.
He sure has been. Okay, good. 1 for 1.
All right, Depot. Depot.
Like train depot or like D-PO?
Neither.
Okay. Is there another one? Is this, how about you don't have to tell me team. Is this a former player or a current player?
Plays for neither team at the moment.
Plays for neither team
at the moment. He played for both the teams combined on a run from 17 to 21. When I tell you this answer, you're going to go, of course.
Well, yeah. I'm confused by the name. I just like
replace the dash for an I. How about?
Yeah. Okay, good. DIPO?
Yes. Played his college ball in Indiana.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Victor Oladipo.
Victor Oladipo. Played for the Thunder in 2017 and then played for Indiana from 18 to 21.
There we go. See, I needed the spelling was the thing that was
kind of throwing you off
because I thought it was D and then, I was like,
like a hyphen.
First initial last name sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was nice. That was another guy. Just poor guy couldn't stay healthy.
Nice player. He last played for the Miami Heat in the 2023 season.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got 2 more to go. Fly Guy.
Fly Guy?
Yep.
Is it a white guy? Is he pretty fly for a white guy?
No. Well, I mean, he's not white. I'll put it to you that way.
He's not white. Fly guy.
Played for the team that drafted him from 13 to 15 and then played for the other from 20 to 22. Had some stops in Charlotte and Sacramento as well.
Still in the league?
No.
Out of the league.
Out of the league, but his recent season was 2022. Went to college at UConn.
That's not going to help me.
He was a drafted 12th overall in 2012.
In 2012. Out of UConn.
Yeah, it was kind of in the part where their program wasn't quite at their championship level yet.
Right,
it was kind of between the, yeah.
It
was like between runs.
Tell me the other teams.
Played for Charlotte and Sacramento.
So we're still like though before Kemba, right?
Not Kemba.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. We're trying. It's like before Kemba, I think.
Yeah, like right before Kemba, or like if Kemba was there, he was like just really young.
Say it, Fly Guy.
Fly Guy.
Is it reference? Is it punny?
No.
Okay.
I don't know where this came out. I don't know where this came from. It has nothing to do with his name.
Is there another nickname?
Nope. That is it.
Crap.
Yeah. Played for the Oklahoma City Thunder from 13 to 15. This one was a tough one.
Kevin Martin. That's not right.
Kevin Martin.
Nope, not. I don't know.
Played for the Indiana Pacers from 2020 to 2022.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jeremy Lamb. Yeah, that one was a tough one.
Good for him.
Not a lot of crossover between these two franchises, mainly because the Thunder just they haven't been around very long.
3. Gosh.
All right. Here's one that maybe will be easier. I don't know. Dougie McBuckets.
That's Doug McDermott.
3 for 4.
Unless there's another Dougie McBuckets out there.
Dougie McBuckets. That's the whitest white guy nickname of all time.
Honest to God, I wouldn't have. I have no idea who that guy played or plays for. I know him because of his nickname.
He played college at Cretin. He's actually from Grand Forks.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's where he was born, but he went to high school in Ames. He was a first-round draft pick by the Denver Nuggets, but had his draft rights traded to the Chicago Bulls. He was with the Bulls from 15 to 17, then was with the Thunder in 17, then was with the Knicks in 18, the Mavericks in 18 as well, the Indiana Pacers from 19 to 24. He also got traded to the Spurs and was with the Sacramento Kings this season. Dougie McBuckets. He was with Sacramento this year. Corey, 3 for 4 ain't bad.
Well, it was only 2 for 4. So I only got Paul George, unless you're giving me Oladipo.
I'll give you Oladipo.
Does he have any other nicknames? Does Dougie?
No. How could you have another nickname when you already have Dougie McBuckets?
Should call him Fly Guy is what we should call him.
Flyest guy.
He was so good in college.
So good.
The list of white guys who are amazing in college and have not worked out in the NBA is eternal.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? We'll always have Jimmer Fredette.
Eternal. That's exactly what he is number 1 on the list.
Teach me how to Dougie.
Of guys who were amazing in college and never quite panned out. Like it's more of a miracle that JJ Redick worked out. You know
Well, he played for Duke, so that helps.
Yeah, but so did Grayson Allen.
That's fair.
Grayson Allen's he's going to have a nice career when it's all said and done.
He was a superstar in college.
Christian Layton. So was Jimmer Fredette.
And Cooper Flagg now following.
Listen, it will be a miracle if it works out for Cooper Flagg. Tyler Hansborough, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? Like the list of white guys who were dominant in college. Like the dominant player, like player of the year good. How'd your NBA career? I
got a few years and then kind of bounced around. I was
in the league for 7 years, but I scored a total of 74 points.
Did you, by the way, one last thing and we'll get out of here. Did you see that Russell Westbrook's free agency destinations are on bet lines? And one of them is a team in Tel Aviv. Someone's like, I think that franchise has more important things to worry about right now.
Who throws up more bombs in Tel Aviv this year, Iran or Russell Westbrook?
Somebody had that clip of Lillard with the Blazers in the 2020 playoffs. I think it was like Eagle doing the broadcast. They're like, that's a bomb. He shoots like just a 3 from the logo.
Russell is probably happy that Angel Reese exists for that guy on TikTok who goes bang. That could apply to Russell Westbrook's 3-point shot just as easy.
Russell Westbrook is not. I believe he's trying to fight Angel Reese for the Me Bounds label. Anyway, I was thinking about doing Russell Westbrook. That would have been too easy. He was Mr. Triple Double. That was the most interesting one I saw. Otherwise, it's like Russ. Yeah, sure. Westbrook didn't make it on there.
He didn't play for Indiana, though, did he?
No, he didn't. That's why I kind of had a way of going with it. And then I was like, let me do Pacers, a Thunder.
He hasn't played for Indiana yet.
Not yet, but give it time. Maybe you will.
Timberwolves need a point guard.
Hey, no. We don't need to be doing that. All right, we'll see you. We'll see you next.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.